Vaklav Churnney could be heading back to Ibrox after Rangers made a major move to bring the fan favourite back to Glasgow. Derek McInnes has made strengthening the right flank one of his top priorities this summer, and the Light Blues have now backed that ambition with a significant opening offer. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Reports from Turkey claim Rangers have officially tabled a £5.1 million bid for Vaclav Cerny as they attempt to secure the return of one of the club's standout performers from recent seasons. The Czech international enjoyed a sensational loan spell at Ibrox during the 2024-25 campaign, quickly becoming a fan favourite thanks to his goals, creativity, and ability to deliver in the biggest matches. Now, with Derek McInnes searching for proven quality on the right wing, Churnney has emerged as a priority target. According to Turkish journalist Onur Taşioglu of Beyaz Futbol, Besiktas have rejected Rangers' opening offer, believed to be worth around £5.1 million. However, the bid itself represents a huge statement of intent from the Scottish giants, showing they are prepared to spend significant money to land one of their top summer targets. At this stage, Besiktas have yet to reveal exactly what fee they would accept, although reports suggest a package closer to £7 million could be enough to tempt the Turkish side into doing business. With Rangers now having open negotiations, there is optimism that talks could continue in the coming days. The need for reinforcements on the right wing has only grown following the departure of Andreas Skov Olsen, while Oliver Antman has struggled to establish himself since arriving last summer. The Finnish international managed just one goal in 28 appearances, leaving serious question marks over his long-term future at Ibrox. Rangers have enjoyed some of their best football in recent years when players like Vaclav Cerny and Abdallah Sima occupied that position, but both arrived on temporary deals and ultimately returned to their parent clubs. McInnes now appears determined to end that cycle by bringing in a permanent solution capable of making an immediate impact. Should Churnney complete a return to Glasgow, it would almost certainly push Antman further down the pecking order and could pave the way for his departure before the transfer window closes. The opening bid may have been rejected, but Rangers have now shown their hand. The big question is whether they'll return with an improved offer, and whether Besiktas will eventually be convinced to let one of their prized attacking talents leave. Rangers have made their intentions crystal clear by submitting a multi-million-pound offer for Vaklav Churnney. And while that first bid may have been rejected, this transfer saga feels like it's only just getting started. McInnes clearly sees the Czech international as the caliber of player capable of transforming his attack, and after everything Churnney produced during his previous spell at Ibrox, it's easy to understand why. The coming days could now prove crucial. Will Rangers return with an improved bid? Will Besiktas soften their stance? Or could another club enter the race before a deal is agreed? One thing is certain, this is a transfer story that Rangers supporters will be watching very closely as the summer window continues to gather pace. In other news, what started as a long-term project could now become one of the biggest transfer stories of Rangers summer. When Yusf Chamiti arrived at Ibrox, there were plenty of questions. Why spend big money on a striker who had barely featured at Everton? Why invest in potential instead of proven goals? Fast forward just one season, and those doubts have almost completely disappeared. Now, with Europe's interest growing rapidly, Rangers could soon face a major decision over one of their most valuable assets. Chamiti enjoyed a breakthrough campaign, scoring 15 goals across all competitions and delivering when it mattered most. Memorable strikes against both Hearts and Celtic elevated his reputation, while his overall performances showed exactly why Rangers believed he was worth the investment. Instead of being viewed as a raw prospect, he's now regarded as one of the most exciting young forwards in Scottish football. That rise has brought inevitable attention. Several clubs across Europe are now monitoring the Portuguese striker, with French giants Lyon among the sides credited with serious interest. Reports also suggest that they're far from alone, as multiple European clubs are keeping a close eye on Chamiti's situation ahead of the remainder of the transfer window. But here's where things get really interesting. Months ago, Rangers chairman Andrew Kavanagh made a statement that many supporters laughed off. He insisted the club would eventually receive £30 million for Chamiti, despite the striker not even being an established first-team player when Rangers signed him. At the time, it sounded incredibly ambitious. Now, that prediction suddenly doesn't seem so far-fetched. Stephen Clifford has revealed that he personally questioned Kavanagh about the transfer strategy during a supporters' meeting, asking why Rangers had invested so heavily in a player who wasn't starting regularly at Everton. According to Clifford, Kavanagh never hesitated. He confidently explained that Chamiti possessed every physical and technical attribute needed to become an elite striker, stressing that Rangers weren't buying him for instant success, but for what he could become over the next few seasons. Looking back now, those comments appear remarkably accurate. Chamiti's development has accelerated dramatically. Hat-tricks, big game performances, and increasing consistency have completely transformed perceptions of the Portuguese forward. Instead of discussing whether he was worth the initial investment, the conversation has shifted towards just how high his ceiling really is. Clifford now believes Kavanagh's £30 million valuation is no longer an optimistic prediction, it's becoming a realistic benchmark. He also believes Chamiti still has another level to reach. If the striker can add even greater consistency in front of goal, there's every reason to believe he could become a 25 goal per season striker, especially with the quality around him continuing to improve under Derek McInnes. Of course, admiration alone doesn't complete transfers. While Lyon remain interested, Rangers are standing firm over their valuation. The hierarchy are reportedly unwilling to entertain offers below £25 million, and that stance has already proved to be a stumbling block for interested clubs. So far, no bid has exceeded the £20 million mark. Perhaps even more encouraging for Rangers supporters is Chamiti's own stance. Despite growing interest from across Europe, there has been no indication that the striker is looking to force a move away from Ibrox.